Hey guys, what's up? It's Dean with Manful Yoga, and today I'm going to talk about weightlifting. I'm going to start off by talking about my own personal experience with weightlifting, its pros and its cons, and then I'm going to go into what you should think about when you're considering whether or not to do weightlifting, or if you're already doing it, and what you might need to be doing in addition to it. So I started weightlifting when I was in high school, and it helped me put on a lot of muscle. So I gained, I started when I was 5'2", and I went from 120 pounds to 165 pounds, and that was when I was 5'9", and then I was at 5'10". When I was at my largest, I was 5'10" and about 185 pounds, and that was when I was doing almost exclusively weightlifting, no cardio, not even playing sports. This is when I was abroad, when I was working or studying in Turkey, and I wasn't playing sports at all. I was just lifting weights. And I started doing yoga after I came back from Turkey I started doing yoga because I accidentally wandered into a yoga studio when I was looking for the tailor over winter break while I was home. And they told me that I could work on my flexibility, my core strength, that I would get a little more tone, and those were all things that I was looking for. So I started doing yoga, and at first I was extremely sore, super sore, because my muscles, my body was not used to the movements yet. But eventually I got to the point where I wasn't feeling super sore from my workouts. And that was very different from my weightlifting workouts. When I would weightlift the day afterwards and for days afterwards, my muscles would really hurt, everything would be sore, just tons of lactic acid buildup, and it just was not fun. Being sore from weightlifting as often and to the degree that I had been was not something that I wanted to experience. So I shifted to yoga because of the way that it made my body feel. I was somewhat sore, but not terribly sore after the workouts. I noticed that I was trimming down excess bulk muscle, and I was improving flexibility, core strength, gaining more control over my body, and I looked a different way. I looked more lean, but I was also more toned, so I was dropping fat percentage. I went from about, I think maybe at my highest fat percentage, I was maybe 11 or 12%, but I dropped down to about 8%. So I liked the way that I was looking, and I wasn't doing anything crazy with my diet to get to that point. I was just exercising differently. So after I stopped lifting weights and started doing exclusively yoga, I actually did start going through more injuries. And that was because I was playing a high impact sport. I was playing lacrosse. And in addition to needing flexibility and needing control of your body, you also have to put your body through the stress that it needs to go through while you are playing physical sports like lacrosse or football. So my point is that yoga can help you if yoga was going to help you no matter what. But in order to be effective as an athlete, you need to be doing things more than just yoga. Now, if you're 30 years old, you're not playing lacrosse, you're not playing football, you're not going to go out and run into other people. No, you don't need to lift weights unless you want to build significant muscle mass. If you want to put on 5 pounds of muscle, no, you probably don't need to lift weights. If you want to put on 20 pounds of muscle, yeah, you're probably going to have to lift weights. But the thing is that weightlifting is not inherently a bad thing. Weightlifting turns into a bad thing when it becomes the only thing that you do, i.e. unbalanced training, or when you are not doing the technique correctly, when you're not following a coach, when you're not paying attention to your technique, when you're following an unbalanced training routine. So if you're doing chest press, and no pulling, that leads to imbalances, that leads to injuries. So I went from no weights I went from all weights essentially to no weights and only body weight. And yeah, I kept my muscle for the most part. I did lose significant amount of muscle mass. I lost probably 15 pounds of muscle. Maybe not 15 pounds of muscle, but 15 pounds overall. And I was still really strong, but I lost a lot of bulk. But again, I did that at the expense of my ability as an athlete to stay injury-free. And I'm not saying, I'm trying to emphasize here that yoga will help you prevent injuries because of the increased flexibility, but it can't be the only thing that you're doing. So if you are still playing sports, you need to be doing weightlifting, you need to be doing weightlifting, you need to be doing some form of resistance training, you need to be doing cone drills, you need to be running, you need to be putting your body through the things that it will experience while you're playing sports. So for the last few years, yoga and bodyweight has been fine for me because I have not been playing sports anymore. I stopped playing sports, stopped playing lacrosse, and I don't need to put the additional stress on my body from weightlifting because I have the body that I want, right? I look the way that I want to. I have the musculature that I want to. I have the weight that I want to. I'm healthy. I don't feel excessively sore from my workouts. All of my joints are functioning the way they're supposed to. I don't have excessive clicking in my joints. I don't have chronic back pain. I don't have pain in my shoulders. But I want to play sports again. So I am starting a weightlifting program again. I actually started one this week. So I'm going to be lifting twice per week. And the goal here, the reason why I'm lifting weights, isn't because I feel like I need to put on significant muscle mass. It's because I need to put my body through stress in order to play sports. And I want to play sports, so I'm putting my body through additional stress so that I can stay injury-free. Yoga is best for athletes when you mix it with the other things that you're doing. So an ideal training program, and this is what I've suggested through my blogs, would be for an athlete, weightlifting or resistance training twice per week, yoga twice per week, sport-specific training or agility training or movement training, footwork twice per week. If your goal is just to look a certain way, then yeah, yoga is plenty, as long as you're doing some resistance exercises that help with your back. It's interesting because most of the people who are actually on this blog, most people who are following Manful Yoga, who are participating in the community, are either familiar with weightlifting, they've done it before, or they're currently doing it, and they're looking for yoga as a way to help improve the things that weightlifting does not. So I guess my summary of this, what I'm trying to convey to you is that weightlifting is not a bad thing. It's something that's potentially bad if you're not doing the technique correctly. Yoga is good for athletes if it's done in conjunction with your other traditional strength training programs or footwork, agility drills. And your training, there's not a one-size-fits-all approach to training. Your training needs to reflect your goals. And if you want to play sports, if you want to be involved in a physical sport like football, lacrosse, basketball, soccer, then you need to be doing resistance training to help put your body through the stress that it will experience during a game so that your body does not break when it gets to that point, or when it gets into situations where stress is put on the body. So if you're hitting someone while you're running at 20 miles an hour, or if you're running into a group of defenders who all want to beat you with lacrosse sticks, you need to have a body that's ready for it. And just using postures is not going to do enough. You need to build up your bone density by putting weight onto things, by training your body. So that's what I want you to get out of this video. Don't be afraid of weightlifting, and don't try not to think of what I'm doing here as a replacement to weight training. There is no replacement for putting weight on your back or holding a bar. Can you get the same look? Sure. You can build muscle, you can tone muscle, but as far as performance goes, if you're looking to perform like a football player, a lacrosse player, a basketball player, weights are necessary to help put that stress that you'll experience in a game into your body. So that's what I have to say on weightlifting. I hope that you were able to glean some useful information from that. And whatever your fitness is, whatever you're doing, make sure that you're paying attention to technique. Yoga is dangerous if you're not paying attention to technique. Yoga is dangerous even if you're following the technique of yoga gurus. There's a lot of it that isn't based in physical anatomy. A lot of it is based on made-up assumptions. So listen to your body, follow the technique, and choose workout programs or choose workout types or fitness types that are appropriate for your goals. And yeah, that's what I got. That's what I have to say. So I'm open to questions. I'm sure that I'll make a follow-up video to this. And I'm looking forward to hearing everyone's responses. Bottom line, manful yoga is great as a complement to weightlifting. It is great as a primary form of physical fitness, as long as you are doing things in addition to manful yoga, such as resistance training with bands or using a pull-up bar or using weights. It is a great form of fitness for people recovering from injuries, as long as you are doing specific exercises to address your injuries, whether that's the root cause of the injury or if it's the physical therapy exercises that you've been given to address particular weaknesses in your body. And yeah, we're all here because we recognize the value of yoga to help build isometric strength, to help work into flexibility, core strength, to help develop balance. But keep in mind, and I've said this multiple times before, yoga is not all that you need in order to be in optimal physical fitness. So choose your physical fitness based on your goals. Yoga should be a part of that because of the emphasis on flexibility, balance, on isometric strength, on developing stability, on creating correct essential movement patterns, squats, lunges, planks, push-up holds, what you should do when you lift your arms overhead. But make sure that you're getting your training balanced. Make sure that you're training smartly. And you need to do that by doing multiple types of fitness. So thank you for watching this. I hope, again, that you were able to get something out of this, and this is really the end of the video now. So take care. I welcome your questions, and I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya.